All right, today I've got three different rye single barrel selections. Actually, these two are single barrels and this one is a blend. But these are some overlooked ryes. These are some ryes that are out there on the market that for whatever reason, others tend to get a little bit more buzz and a little more popular, but these are three different shades of rye. So I kind of wanted to talk about as rye has reemerged, growing 15-20%. Granted, that's off of a very small base, but rye is really taking off. A lot of it is because of cocktails and bars, but more people are starting to pick up ryes at home and incorporate them into classic cocktails. Obviously, the Manhattan would be the number one choice for a traditional rye cocktail, but I really like using them in old fashions, which I normally use bourbon, but I think rye is a great substitute in an old fashioned and something that I always enjoy. So, Jack Daniel's single barrel rye. This is 94 proof. It's in that 4 to 6 year old age range. Rossville Union. This is rye from MGP. This was last year's program, so they make a sweet, a savory, and a spicy, and it's a different blend of the ryes they produce. But this is predominantly their 95% rye recipe. And MGP, obviously, these guys are the masters of rye whiskey. They've been making this 95% rye forever. This is a 100 proof, 4+ year old expression of that, and for $50, it's a hell of a deal. And then the last one is this Knob Creek rye, which at 115 proof and 6 years old is the oldest of this bunch and the highest proof of this bunch. So it packs a lot of power, but it doesn't have the same spice profile as the other ryes. So it's a little bit more, you'll taste a lot more corn depth to this. It's not as high of a rye recipe. So it's going to be balanced, a little more balanced out like a bourbon. So for my tasting notes, the thing that I really like about the Jack Daniel's rye is that it's extremely mild. It's got this great toasted character to it. Brown-Forman obviously has its own cooperage, and so they make all the barrels for Woodford Reserve, Woodford Double Oak, and obviously lots of Jack Daniel's barrels, but it's got a very gentle nose to it. There's not like a lot of pininess here. This one has got kind of that savory bread, mild toast note. It's a gorgeous color, this particular whiskey. Let's try it. Chocolate banana. It's got that banana bready note to it. Kind of if you made a banana bread with rye and then added some like chocolate chips to it, that's what you would get. And it does pair really well with bitters and an orange, just an orange peel, a little bit of simple syrup. That makes a great old fashioned. And at 94 proof, man, it's like a little bit lower than I would prefer to use in a cocktail, but it's right in the strike zone for sure. Okay. Second one, the Rossville, the spice. This is just MGP, massive pine, pickle juice. Really got that rock hard, rock candy rye quality to it. People should grab these because this program's not even, they're doing this program where they're proofing them all down to 100. The George Remus single barrel program that's coming out this year is all going to be a barrel proof, but these Rossville ryes are fantastic. They're not blending them, so this will be the last of the blend. So if you're looking for something that's like they're never going to do again, they're never going to do this again. They're going to only do like this rye recipe, or this rye recipe, and you can buy 1 or 2 bottles of each of that particular recipe. But MGP's blending, I think, was an effort to show off a balance of what they've got going on there. And this one certainly does that. great concentration of like that sweet rock candy rye flavor. There's an herbaceousness to it. There's this there's a minty quality to it. There's a pine note there as well. It is perfect. And at 100 proof, with this age profile, I think it's should be right in the strike zone for most of you guys. Okay, last one. This is getting closer to barrel proof. These are all done at 115. This is the Knob Creek Rye single barrel. This is a 6+ year old expression, and we nicknamed this Pine Bread. So there'll be some stores that might have sold out of this already, but a lot of stores will probably still have it. This is another fantastic, super high quality, high performing whiskey that just goes under the radar, and you've just got to go and trust that these picks are fantastic, because they are. And it's good, you can buy them now before they become like crazy popular and people take them over. All right, let's try this. It's nice, I kind of prepared my palate with these other two. So the 115 proof is not tasting like way out of bounds here, but this has got that bready quality to it. Not so much the toasted as the Jack Daniels, but it's got that pine bread quality. It's real soft and elegant, and that it holds its proof really nice. I mean, I think you could totally make this a sipper, but great in cocktails. And this is just a solid, all-around, bourbon-esque, traditional rye at a higher proof than what they were normally releasing. Like Old Overholt at 80 proof forever was kind of this throwaway thing that Jim Beam didn't pay a lot of attention to. Now they are paying attention to this category, and they're bottling these things at the higher strength that people want with a good age statement on it. So some quality barrels. It's not, to me, it's not quite where like the Russell's Reserve single barrel ryes are at 110 proof, but it's getting closer and closer. Every year I've tasted this, I think that program continues to grow and do well, and it's a nice like house style rye, just meaning like everyday use of cocktails. Absolutely perfect, can't go wrong. So under the radar ryes, this is where you want to be if you're a whiskey buyer, because this is where the action is right now. This is where the flavor and the availability come together, and that's what you want to check out. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on these. Cheers.